gotta grind it. What's up, mama? I'll come to Coney Island, take a spin on the cyclone. I miss you. You want a shot? Fuck your life. Bing bong bong 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 bing bong bong. Fuck your fucking life. Fuck your fucking life. Fuck your fucking life.
Oh my gosh, it's the gift that keeps on giving. It's the Bud Baller Review. And also, I'm going to wear the fuck out of that Bing Bong thing, as many of those things as I can find. Welcome to the Christmas season, the Week 7 Bud Baller Review. Lots of injuries, COVID's breaking out, different things going on, but we had a good week of matchups. Let's jump in. I narrowly avoided tying or losing to Jackson, came out with a win. Drew, it was a pretty easy matchup for Drew. Drew taking home the W there. Sawyer and Tom, this was back and forth all the way up until the last day on Sunday, but Sawyer ends out pulling out that win. Tim beats Chris, and John's, I don't want to say smackdown, but John definitely strutted his stuff and beat on Alec. Okay, let's jump in. I beat Jackson. This one was pretty close. I didn't really want to make any ad drops this past week, and I really couldn't just because everybody was – it's at that tough point where, you know, when your team's just playing so well, you hate to drop anybody, but that's kind of how I was feeling. I figured I could ride it out and let it go. We split the percentages, even though those were kind of neck and neck for most of the week, but I won threes handily by over 30, over 100 point difference, over 50 rebound difference. Jackson, once again, I think it's at least the second, if not the third week in a row, has the most assists in the league this week. He also had the most steals in the league this week, and we tied in blocks, separated by only 5 turnovers, but there was a 5 double-double difference. So the big thing here is blocks. We were tied. It was either tied or I was up by 1 starting at the end of the games on Saturday night, and I could either tie in blocks or win the category and win the week. I picked up one guy, I think Denny, I'm going to fuck his name wrong, but Abdia. He had some decent blocks, picked him up as a streamer. I think he finished the night with 1 rebound and 1 assist, no points, no blocks, nothing, so I was fucked there. Brandon Ingram doesn't normally get blocks. He ended up getting one to tie it, but no one else got a block, and I was able to tie this one and save the matchup. Garland was a huge help for me. He's been amazing since Sexton went down. Loving his output. Unfortunately, LaMelo got that COVID-19. Didn't get that last game out of him on Sunday. That could have helped me propel me to even more convincing win. But just my field goal was down this week. My stocks were down this week, and Jackson definitely took advantage there. MVP of the week for myself is going to go to Mo Bamba. He was 536 from the field, 35 points, 29 rebounds, 11 blocks, and a double-double. Mainly the 11 blocks of the thing keeping me safe there. I would have been 8-1 this week, only would have lost to John, currently riding a 6-game win streak with a record of 6-1-0, comfortably all alone in first place by myself. Meanwhile, Jackson would have gone 5-4 this week. Tough luck he had to play me, but he would have lost to myself, Tom, Sawyer, and Alec. 6-game losing streak for Jackson, 1-6-0, tied for 9th place. Jackson, you got a damn good team, man. Fucking Ingram looked amazing this week, 120 points. You've got the assist god in Chris Paul. He's got the most assists in the league so far this season. I was doing some looking. Jackson actually has 5 players in the top 25 for assists this year. So his team always puts up a lot of assists, and he is 4-2-1 in the assist category on the year and has the 3rd most assists in the league so far, I think behind myself and Sawyer. Good team here. If we just do a little streaming, some things are going to be looking pretty good for Mr. Yaks on Yaks on Yaks. And like I said, 5-4 this week. Tough luck he had to play me, but that's just how it went. On to Nick and Drew. Drew won this one in convincing fashion, 8-2. Took home both of the percentage categories and had the highest free throw percentage in the league this week. They were only separated by 4 threes, but the rest of the categories had enough cushion going Drew's way over 50 assist difference, close to 20 rebounds, 40-point difference. Stocks were semi-close. Nick had the fewest turnovers in the league again this week with 40, but Drew did enough to eke it out of there. As far as Nick's team goes, it sucks with Ja being out. That just really hurts his team in 4 different categories: field goals, points, assists, steals. He kind of does it all. He's hitting a couple threes. I think he had like 30 some odd threes hit so far this year. But him being out just hurts Nick across the board. On the other hand, Steph playing is the opposite of Chef right now. I think he went 19 for 69 this week, good for a 275 field goal percentage. That's not helping anybody, and you need him to be your all-star. If he has an off night every once in a while, that's one thing, but 19 for 69 is pretty bad. Other thing, there might be a better use of roster space than Kyle Anderson. He's out right now. He's definitely not roster worthy unless you're streaming, but might be able to stream that spot if you want to start making some ad drops there. Drew, on the other hand, the Mitchell-Van Vliet combo's got to be so much fun to have. Those guys are just putting up consistent stats as far as points and threes go every night. You're getting the assists with Van Vliet. Donovan Mitchell is I didn't check exactly what his averages is, but he's at least 3 or 4 assists and rebounds a game, so he's playing very well. One bad thing for Drew is Tyrese Maxey didn't shoot the ball for shit. He also shot very, very poorly. And Drew, you have way too many players on your roster right now with an injury or a game-time decision tag. Jalen Suggs, probably droppable. I would start making some moves there. I know you've got both of your injured slots full, but you could definitely be doing some work on the waiver wire. I know you've been ad dropping a little bit, but there's a couple guys you can just drop for good, and you're going to be just fine. On to Tom and Sawyer. This was definitely the highlight matchup of the week, in my opinion. Sawyer even texted me early on in the week saying Tom doesn't know what he's in for. He's got it coming to him. And I was like, all right, Sawdog, let's see what happens. I mean, he does have probably one of, if not the most well-rounded team in the league this year. And this one was just back and forth the whole time. I think after the games were over on Saturday night, Tom was in the lead. But even on Sunday, they were flip-flopping categories. Only separated by 5 thousandths of a percentage point in field goal. Separated by only 3 3-pointers. Less than 20-point difference, 2 steal difference, 4 block difference, 8 turnover difference, tied in double-doubles. This easily could have gone either way, but Sawyer's team did enough on Sunday to get him that dub. And they did it with Giannis, I believe, sitting 2 games and LeBron only playing 1 game. So it kind of speaks to how impactful Sawyer's team is, even when they're not all healthy. But for Tom's team, though, Jared Allen just absolutely balled out. I think he had 4 double-doubles last week. He's been super consistent, and he's been averaging, I don't know, I think this was in the last 7 games. He's been averaging 22.3 points and 12.1 rebounds a game. Jaren Jackson Jr. has become very consistent. He's even knocking down a good amount of threes. The only... And this isn't a knock or anything because I probably would have done this too had I had Tom's team from last year. But the Kevin Porter Jr. keeper in the 10th round hasn't been working out so far. He's just not very efficient. He is getting some assists in there, but just the combination of SGA as your 3rd round pick and Kyle Porter Jr. as your 10th round pick, I think you could have kept SGA in like the 6th or 5th round, but he's still only returning like 10th round value right now. I'm sure he's going to be fine because he's sat out a couple games. He had that concussion thing last week. But hoping those two get turned around for Tom's team. Meanwhile, Sawdog, like I said, LeBron only played once. Giannis missed 2 games, but Source team's even starting to hit a decent amount of threes. And then just a quick side note on Rudy Gobert. I know he's nobody's favorite player, but he's just like vanilla ice cream. He's not your favorite, but he's going to be consistent. He's going to be good every fucking game. He's averaging this season 14.9 points, 14.7 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks a game. He is easy of a ticket as there can be, especially in this league that we have double-doubles. So good on Sawyer for having him too. His team just out-rebounds everybody. Sawyer in fourth place, would have been 6-3 this week, only would have lost to myself, Tim, and John. He's on a 2-game win streak, record of 4-2-0. Meanwhile, Tom would have gone 4-5 versus the league. His only wins would have come versus Jackson, Nick, Drew, and Chris. Tom on a 1-game losing streak with a record of 2-4-1. He has a half-game lead over Drew for the final playoff spot currently. I think I missed Drew and Nick earlier. Nick would have been 0-9, would have lost to everybody 3-game slide. And Drew would have been Drew was 2-7. His only wins would come versus Nick and Chris. 1-game win streak for Drew, up to 2-5. Good job, Drew. I think I also missed some MVPs. MVP for Sawyer is going to be Trae Young. He hit 9 threes, 83 points, 35 rebounds, 3 double-doubles. MVP for Drew was Evan Mobley, 49 points, 37 rebounds, 13 assists, 10 blocks, 2 double-doubles. On to Tim and Chris. This was a blowout. Tim won both percentage categories, threes, points, rebounds, assists. He won by almost 70. They were tied in steals. Tim doesn't put up that many blocks, only had 27. 10 double-doubles versus 0, and 1 triple-double for Tim. That's a walk in the park. Doesn't need to add-drop anybody. MVP is going to be Domantas Sabonis, and we'll get to his stats in just a little bit. Chris's team, if we can, to borrow a line from our good friend Dan Solak, let's hop in the DeLorean. If you take half of Chris's draft picks and put them in the positions they were in about 2 to 3 years ago, his team would be fucking incredible. You'd have Dame and Clay in their prime playing positions. You'd have Drummond in Detroit. Westbrook would be balling out, and Ben Simmons would actually be playing basketball. Like, this would be a formidable team. But right now, that is just not the case. Chris still seems to be holding out hope for Simmons and continues to block one of his IL spots that he could be using for an actual active player. But at least you've got Anthony Edwards and Cade to watch while the rest of your team burns to the fucking ground. Meanwhile, Tim, on the other hand, once again, I think this led to Tim winning the championship last year. If you hit on your mid-round draft picks, like anywhere from 5 on to 12, if you hit on a lot of those players, you're going to have a really good shot. That's why he's got Julius Randle as his keeper this year. But having Randle in the 6th, Hero in the 10th, and Wendell Carter Jr. all playing very well. Wendell Carter is almost good for a double-double every night. Hero's being really good at playmaking, having solid assists and rebound totals in addition to just scoring a lot of points this year. Tatum has also averaged 31.3 points over the last week, and he's averaging 26.7 points over the past month, playing very well. If not, and this is nowhere near a knock, but it seems like Sabonis' assist numbers are really down this year. I don't know why that is, but that definitely elevated him to that second-round pre-draft value, I think, because if you're going to get that consistent of scoring and rebounds along with assists, you'll take that. It's basically Jokic light. But for whatever reason, his assists haven't been super up there, although he just had that monster double-double, I think, on Tuesday night, or triple-double. So he's doing decently well, but not as good as you have wanted. Let's see. Tim, in second place, would have been 6-2-1 this week, only would have lost to myself and Jackson, and would have tied John. Tim currently on a 1-game win streak with a record of 5-1-1, all alone in second place by a half game. Meanwhile, Chris, 1-8, only would have beaten Nick, 2-game losing streak, record of 1-6-0, tied for ninth with Jackson. Someone needs to call the fire department. And finally, on to John and Alec. This was the other headline matchup this week, and John just decided, fuck all that, I'm going to win handily. John won in field goals. They were 1 3-pointer apart from each other, which was close, but John won by 80 points, 50 rebounds, 30 assists, over 10 steals, had almost 30 more turnovers than Alec, but won the double-double battle 11-9 and had a triple-double from Luka to seal it. Luka Doncic, MVP of this one, 74 points, 24 rebounds, 31 assists, 3 double-doubles, 1 triple-double. As far as John goes, injury bug hit John's team hard. Cat took that kind of nasty fall. Luka hurt his ankle. Bam's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks with his finger. Then Kristaps just been sitting out a couple games. Thankfully, Cat's coming back. It sounds like Doncic is going to be possibly coming back for either tomorrow or Wednesday's matchup, so he should be okay there. But it's was looking pretty rough there for John's team for a couple minutes. Bobby Portis continues to feast in his expanded role for the Bucks, averaging 15.3 points, 8.8 rebounds a game this season, playing very, very well. Lowry is also averaging 7.8 assists for the past month, looking good. As far as Alec goes, still holding out hope there for Kyrie playing this season. I probably wouldn't give up on him either, but like I said, Al's got a couple guys injured on his team that definitely could be going in that spot, but Al's definitely holding out hope. If I had said this to anybody pre-draft that Kuzma, Wiggins, and Harrison Barnes were going to be revelations and insanely fantasy relevant this year, I don't know how many people would have agreed with that, but they are all playing extremely well for Alec's team right now. Could possibly see some regression from a couple guys on his team going forward if other actual NBA players come back and steal some of their shine, but they're playing really well for Al right now. And Cole Anthony thankfully came back, and he's been averaging 20.2 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 6.0 assists a game this year. Players of the week. Yahoo's player of the week is Domantas Sabonis, 633 from the floor, 52 points, 51 rebounds, 17 assists, 3 double-doubles, and a triple-double. My personal favorite player of the week is going to be Jared Allen this week, 722 from the field, 92 points, 48 rebounds, 10 blocks, 4 double-doubles. And Yahoo's average player of the week is also going to be Sabonis, 17.3 points, 17.0 rebounds, 5.7 assists, and a double-double. We've got some pretty good matchups coming up this week. I'm finally going to get a tough matchup. I've been beaten up on all the easy teams in the league this year, like Tim, Tom, and Sawyer, so I'm glad I finally get a good matchup in John this week. Just kidding, motherfuckers. But then we've got Tim versus Alec. We've got Tom versus Drew. Tom could definitely use a win right now, and Drew's team's looking decent if he'll make some ad drops. Then you got Nick and Jackson. Jackson would have beaten Nick last week, so we got a good one there. And then Sawyer just gets a slam dunk with Chris. Good luck, boys.